Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Pluto Sextile or trine one's natal sun. Now, this transit could manifest in power, control, transformation, passion, even probity. This could be in harmony with one's life and vitality and energy, and I'm going to elaborate and expound on that, just about having more control over your energy, your actions. It's a good time, where you won't likely overexert yourself. You're going to be able to pace yourself in whatever it is you need to do. It's a good time, for just recharging yourself too, so you have that vitality and energy needed for the things you truly need it for, not for necessarily trivial things, but things that are very more important in your life. And it's having the passion and desire to do things that are associated with creativity as well as creative energy. If you have your natal sun in Aquarius as an example, it could be some kind of computer graphic art design as an example, some kind of electronic or digital art. This could be, it's also, if you have your natal sun in Taurus as another example, it could be some kind of, like a creative gardening array. This is where, this aspect is very good for having just a general control in your life, just in general. And it's a time as well. The sun is connected with the biological father of children. So this is also a time for having that right amount of passion and desire for doing activities with these people. Some people may ask, well, what's the difference between transit Pluto sextile or trine one's natal sun and transit Pluto making a conjunction one's natal sun? Well, the thing about it is they're comparable, but when you're talking about the conjunction, it's more integrating and intensifying energy. It can be at a point where you could be so obsessed and fixated on your life. It can be to the exclusion of other things, where you become oblivious to other things in general. And when you have this transit, it's where you might just simply you have that right amount of desire and passion for your life to do things with your life, but not to the point where it's to the exclusion of other things. So it's a very positive transit just in general. This is a time as well when this transit does take place. It's also a time if you need to make a transformation, or there's some major change that needs to be made in your life. This is a very positive time for that. If there's a major change that's going on with your biological father or children, if you have any, if applicable, this is a time where you're more able to deal with it better than you ordinarily would. And whether it could be the biological father or child may be moving to a different location. Say if you're in the United States, if somebody's going to a different state or even a different country in some in some remote cases, this could be the time where you're to be more adaptable and more accepting of these matters. And it's also a time where you're able to have, again, the right amount, the desire, the passion, the emotional intensity. It could be in taking action. If your natal sun is in Scorpio, it could be over an insurance matter, some of the taxes or recycling. Maybe there is like a wrongful death suit that you need to file, or there's something connected with inheritance or shared resources scenario that needs to be taken care of, as some examples. And it's also a time it's a time where it's better where you have that passion, desire to take care of anything anatomically connected with the sun. The spine, the upper back, and the heart all correspond with the sun anatomically. And if you say you've been procrastinating or hesitating on these issues, and you have any of these issues that I described that are anatomically associated with the sun, this is the time where you're more likely than not, to be able to do something, but because it's having, again, the emotional intensity, the passion, desire to do something about those issues. And it's a time as well where when you have this transit, it's about being more in control with matters connected with the physical body. Yes, the ascendant is what dominates the appearance and physical body, but the sun can play a role as well. And if you have your natal sun, you know, say it's in Sagittarius, there could be, you may have had issues, like say with the thighs, or something with the quadriceps or hips, and it's a time where you're more in control, say not to re-aggravate or exacerbate that injury. If you did have any issues with those things, it could be a time as well. I think when you have this transit, it's a very auspicious time for action, because you have Pluto again, being connected with emotional intensity, passion, desire, and the sun is associated with drive and motivation. So whatever you're doing at this time and any actions that need to be done, you're definitely going to have really that strong desire in actually doing so. At this time, more so than you ordinarily would. The sun is also connected with the conscious. It's what we're cognizant of. And if there's some kind of, if there's a major change, or you're trying to get control of some situation, have power more in your life, this is the time where you'd be more cognizant of it, and likely know really what needs to be done to be able to formulate that plan to do something about it. You're talking about it's a positive transit. Sextiles and trines, of course, are positive aspects in astrology. They're auspicious. They're very flowing. And it's also a time where Pluto-related things in general are something which you could put your focus and attention on. And saying if it's something connected with a death or an insurance matter, or it could be something connected with the occult, which includes astrology, if surgery needs to be done, or trying to look deep into something, investigate a situation. This could be a time where you're more likely able to do so than usual. Have that right amount of focus and attention, because again, we're talking about sextile or trine, which is a very harmonious aspect. The harmonious aspects, I should say. And it's also a time where wherever you want to shine, which is connected with the sun. This is the time again to have that emotional intensity, the passion, desire, to really be in control of that part of your life. Where do you want to stand out in? Going back to the natal sun being in Aquarius as an example, it could be doing shining in something with computers or innovation or astrology or astronomy, some examples. And it's also a time too where it can be a positive time to when I say dominate, I don't mean in a rough way or physically dominate a person. I mean like in a matter in sports where you really stand out and you stand well above the competition, whether it could be in business or sports or whatever it might be. This is about having that that passion to do so at this time, more so than you ordinarily would. And now another way this transit can manifest, it could be very positive for having that passion and desire, which is Pluto, just to get what you want in general, which is the sun. Now, if the sun is in Sagittarius as an example, it could be something related to sports, the outdoors, adventure, publishing, as some examples. It could also be an auspicious time to get support, which is Pluto, for what drives and motivates you, which is the sun. Now, if the natal sun is in Capricorn as an example, it could be those things that drive and motivate you. Could be something business related, something associated with politics, improving social status and your stature in life, Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. And also, too, another way this transit could be expressed, it could be about Pluto-related people. When I say Pluto-related people, it could be people that are in Plutonian like careers or professions, such as the occult, which includes astrology or insurance, surgery, investigation, or it could be people that other people that are connected with Pluto in general, such as people you're in an intimate relationship with, as an example. These people can be more in harmony and agreement with your basic character, which is the sun. Now, if your natal sun is in the zodiac sign Cancer, as an example, that basic character can be very sympathetic, nurturing, tenacious, dedicated, and devoted, as some examples. And also, time, it could be very propitious for control, which is Pluto in your life, which is the sun. Now, if the sun is in Libra, as an example, it could be a life connected with peace, balance, refinement, intellectual sociability, as some examples. It could also be a time where it's auspicious for having that desire, which is Pluto, to take action, which is the sun. Now, if the sun is in Leo, as an example, it could simply be, taking action, just maybe to dominate, a certain, situation in your life, not in a negative way, but like I was saying before, like in sports, or business, just being able to stand out and shine in something, and in general. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.